Hey family, I am here in beautiful North Vancouver. It's early morning and I was going to do a video and I told my kids, give me a little bit of a quiet time and they are there. That's Cassandra, Dariush and Roxana. Dariush is really good in games. I guess most of the young people these days are. And so anyways, I wanted to do this video because I had a dream. My dream, I was just, I had added this new portion. I extended the house and that I had. And this house that I had was already humongous with a huge hallway, marble floors and everything else. And I had finished the other part, all the roofing, the sides were done, and I was going to do the flooring. For the flooring, I had gone in my dream to the mountains and I was cutting rocks to bring natural rocks that we can actually use to do the flooring for the other hallway. And as I was bringing these rocks, I saw that there are people that are taking big dogs and a small mini version of them and mating them together. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And they said, yeah, because we want to make the miniature version of these dogs, these wild dogs, the big dogs kind of thing, and hunting dogs. And then we're making the smaller version because people buy this with more money and it's less trouble and everything else. I was like, oh. And then I went a little bit further and I saw had made this rooster, and the rooster wasn't crowing like the natural rooster, but releasing a sound, a constant sound, and that sound was made so that no other animals can hunt another animal. I was like, what? Yeah. And then I saw an eagle really coming down to take a prey. And as that happened, the rooster noticed that and started releasing that sound. It did not stop the eagle, but the eagle changed direction, came to the rooster to see what this rooster is. What is that sound coming from? And I start picking at the neck of the rooster, and the rooster started running away and stopped the sound. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then I saw my daughter, Moisha, just going to the bank, and she came from a cash machine, having taken some $5,000 and saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, what's happened? And she's like, yeah, I don't know how I have $5,000 in my account. I'm just going to take it. And I don't know how it came. I don't know if they made a mistake or not, but I'm going to take it so I can go use it. And I said, why don't you invest it? Why don't you put a GIC or something so you can invest it? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, talk to the bank. Maybe it's something you like to do. And then she went to talk to the bank, but the bank system didn't want me to be with her because they didn't want me to give my information to her. And she didn't ask. The only way I could have gone was for her to ask. And she didn't ask me to go in the dream. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I got to go back. And when I went to the house, the person that was doing the flooring for me said, wow, these are natural rocks. I know this. This comes from my hometown. And look, we can break it and we can do it in a way because this is like the old marble you have in the other one, different color. And we can cut it and put it in a way that everything looks the same way. So no one will notice that you have an old floor and a new floor. And I said, yeah, I got to get back to doing that. And then I woke up and I asked the Lord, what does this dream mean? And the Lord said to me, you are of a mindset that you want to go to them when you're expanding for the kingdom. You want the old style. You want the natural marble. You go to the rocks and you to the mountain and carve it out of the mountain and bring it, because that is your way of thinking. That a man is somebody that goes out and grabs what God-given nature is and brings it, and we want to raise a generation like this. But this generation, this world today is a world that doesn't want that. They take a wild hunting dog, and what do? They make it a smaller miniature version. Just it looks like the hunting dog, but it cannot do the hunting. It takes they have this rooster, and the rooster stops all the nature from being the way God created it, hunting and all these things. And the interesting part is the rooster could not overcome the eagle. And we know, you and I, that eagle represents the Spirit of God in the Bible. And it's so interesting that, and I said, what about my daughter? And the Lord said to me, look, your daughter sees the money, and when she sees these finances, she doesn't see a purpose for it, but an opportunity to spend more money. Have more fun. Just things that come and go like that. And the system of the bank doesn't want you to teach the next generation how to build something, so a father wanting to build and expand, a daughter that wants to spend, and there's just, maybe I don't get this opportunity. I don't know where the money came from, this, that. And I was thinking about these things, and I got up and I was praying about it, and I was saying, Lord, what is happening? What is happening to our next generation? What is happening to fatherhood and motherhood? Because yesterday I was having a conversation with my son Darius, and Darius was just eating, and as I had made them, and I'm going to put that picture actually up for you guys, I made them juju kebab and everything, because I know my kids love this grilled chicken, the Persian style with saffron and everything else. And I'm here in Airbnb in North Vancouver. I'm not in my own home, but I'm like, immediately, try to make some basmati rice with saffron, chicken saffron, marinated and everything. Yesterday I grill them. I put potatoes, everything. I give it to them, and I want them to learn what it is to provide for a family, to create a home anywhere you are. And then I see my son, literally, he has the plate and he puts his lips right to the plate, and he's trying to use the fork to bring it close to his mouth, and then he goes, and I'm like, Darius, what are you doing? This is not, I see you eating your noodles with so much noise and everything. And it's like, and I had on earlier meals, I told him, look, guys, whenever you're eating, imagine the manners of eating is for you, think to yourself that you are sitting with a queen or a king, and you are sitting at their table. That is how you want to eat, even when you're sitting by yourself. You don't want to make so much sound. You don't want to do this and everything else, because I think that's so important. Manners are so important. And all these things have lost its value for the next generation, because the reality is no one really wants to teach them that. Today's day and age, fatherhood or motherhood is like, I gave you a roof, I gave you food in your stomach, I gave you clothes, and that's your, until you're 18, and then you're kicked out. But to raise men and women of God that actually know how to carry themselves. I said to my son, I said, I want to prepare you to be a man. And I told my daughters, I want you guys to be a woman of God, a wife to someone, mother to children. And same, to prepare that generation, we have to have, as older people, a realization that the world doesn't want them. The world that we live in is a world that wants to make like those puppy dogs. Men look muscular, like my nephew was saying, I want to be a gladiator, and he's afraid of some fly. He loves to play basketball, but hey, the ball fell into some bush. It's too inconvenient. Oh, I may touch the bush and there may be a bee, or there may be a thorn that would touch me. I forget the ball. The world is creating such things. And parents, please, 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 we got to start taking care of our kids. I know it's not easy. I know the world would say, oh, you're too strict. But forget the world. We can't raise children that or environment, because mothers are way too busy working or this or that, you know. But we need to go back to the thousands of years when men had a place and women had their own place, and they worked together, not giving 50-50, but each person brought their 100%, and that 100% created the next generation of successful children and leaders. I'm watching some serials with my daughter Mojde, and it's about Alexander the Great, and she was like, yeah, Alexander, yeah, I found it so interesting. And I said, do you not find it interesting that he became a ruler at age 20? Your older brother is 21? And she was like, oh no, wow, I could never see my brother do that. I said, this is the difference between that environment in which those days they raised the children with a different standard, that at 20 they could become a king and a ruler that would take on a country, an empire, the greatest empire in the world, and overcome it. And somebody like your brother, or this generation of men and women that we create, that their biggest concerns are about playing games, how many kills we have had on a game, or hey, what sort of makeup I should put on. This is a problem. And as men and women of God, I implore you guys, let us think about the next generation. Let us think what is best for our children, and let us see if these children are going to be the next Peters and Johns and Matthews, men and women that are willing to lay their life for their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because these people, the way they have been raised right now, they'll have a hard time knowing how to use the fork. They think they need to put the plate to their mouths. This is the upbringing they're getting. And that's something that is broken. We need to face this reality and realize the world would love to raise this generation, not to know what it is to hunt, what it is to be a man, what it is to take the nature and make things beautiful with their hands. Blessings on you guys. And I hope this dream and vision has spoken to you. We have to pray and fast. And to all of you, happy Persian New Year. It's the beginning of spring. I wish you all the best that this season can bring. Bye.